Well, good morning, everybody. Hey, it is Melanie Mitro, and we are here with Business Tip Tuesday. You guys all know that this is hands down my favorite day of the week because I really enjoy training you guys and sharing what's working for me. And one of the questions that I have been getting asked like over and over and over again is about this social media planning and coming up with content. And especially those of you that are trying to build your business and are just getting started. I know this is always the hardest part, right? So I remember very clearly sitting at the high top table in our townhouse, at the kitchen table, right? Really sitting down and saying, what am I going to post about? And every day I would find myself scrolling Pinterest, going to Google, searching, like spending tons of time just scrolling the newsfeed of other people in my business to try to figure out what I was going to share for that day. And quite honestly, a lot of times I was wasting so much time trying to come up with ideas, and I was literally just throwing things out there to see what would stick. At the beginning, I made all of the mistakes that people do in the beginning of their business. I tried to oversell. I shared way too many links. I had way too many motivational quotes. I was not showing enough of me. My pictures weren't clear, and I didn't have a very concise message. And good thing that I realized, hey, you know, what I'm putting out there isn't actually producing me results. And so I remember kind of taking a step back and saying, all right, I think we need to have a consistent message. I think we want to have a consistent brand, a consistent look to the way and feel of the way you're sharing things. And so I started to really come up with this idea of really having a content strategy and a theme for what I wanted to present to my audience. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. All right. So that's going to be our discussion for today. I see there are people jumping on. Good morning, Tammy. Thanks so much for following. Hi there, Amanda. Laura. Okay. This rings true for you. Good. All right. So we're going to get started. So first and foremost, I've got a couple of things I'm going to share with you today. So, and I'm going to just pull up my I have a little document that I was creating with some ideas. So I'm just going to bring that up over here. So number one, before you can actually create content, the biggest thing is you have to know what is your purpose. So let's just use Instagram and Facebook, and we're going to talk about those interchangeably. So what is your purpose of your actual account? And this is a really good question because a lot of times our purpose is your purpose to sell something? Is your purpose to teach something? Is it to motivate, to empower, to inspire? So figure out what that is. And maybe what I would encourage you to do is get out a sheet of paper and just write that down. What is the purpose of my account? And what am I trying to achieve? So that's first and foremost what you want to say. And then you want to ask yourself, what is your brand and what is your identity? So you are not the name of the company that you serve. So you are not a skincare consultant. You are not a health and fitness coach. You are not a lifestyle blogger, right? Who are you? What is your brand? What are you trying to do? So, and what is your identity? So again, this is where you want to list out, okay, I'm write down all the characteristics. I'm a mom of 2 boys, right? And so boy mom is very specific. Now let's take that a step further. I'm not a boy mom in her 20s. I am a boy mom in her mid 30s, right? So that would be even narrowing that down. So that's my identity. I am a wife. I work at home, right? So that's another characteristic. I have a full-time career. I work at home. I love clean eating. I love fitness, right? Where somebody else might say, I don't love fitness at all and I eat paleo or I am a vegan. Somebody else might say, I love cooking, and they may really want to teach people how to cook and do healthy recipes, where somebody else might say, I'm all about fast, easy food prep. Like, I don't want to spend my time on that. So now you're starting to drill down the brand of who you are. Let's take it another step further. I love coffee, but am I a coffee connoisseur? Am I somebody that doesn't care? Like, I'll get it at, the local gas station just as long as it's a cup of coffee, right? So now we drill it down. Are you a Starbucks person? Are you a Dunkin' Donuts person? Are you, whatever, coffee brand you are? Are you an espresso person? Are you a fancy drink, a latte? So this even helps you to kind of drill that down a little bit further. Are you somebody that gets dressed and puts makeup on every single day? Like, do you care about fashion, or are you perfectly fine in your sweatpants and t-shirt every single day, hair in a messy bun all the time? You know, think about the descriptions of what matters to you. So those are all things that are important, because your brand, your visual, it has to maintain a consistent theme so that people sort of can relate to the person that you are. And then you think about, okay, what is my actual message? What is it about, that I am going to share that I want other people to feel? And I just wrote down a list of those things for me. All right. So my brand, my identity is consistency, positivity, encouragement, empowerment. It is humble, grounded, family-based, integrity, hustle hard. So I work hard, but I do it with balance. And so those are the things. Fitness and nutrition are definitely in there as well. So once I have those words, every time I go to craft a post, I ask myself, is it in line with that brand? Is the pictures that I'm taking, is it all lining up? And so this is something that you can actually write out, and every time you make a post, you can actually look over at that sheet of paper and say, is this lining up? Is the brand lining up? Are they the same, right? All right, so that's the next thing. The next thing that we want to think about is, what are we offering people? Now, aside from the product, aside from, whatever it is we're selling, we have to be bringing something else to the table. And I know for me, especially, I look at my social media as my tool. It's my audience, it's my classroom. So I look at social media as my classroom, whether I'm inspiring, motivating, or teaching, right? So those are kind of the three things that I really do. So right now, what am I doing? I'm teaching. What do I do when I post motivational quotes? I'm inspiring, right? I'm uplifting, I'm empowering. So you can see that all of my things have a common theme, and they're very positive, and they don't focus on the negative. So now we know who is our brand, what is our demographic, we know what our audience wants to see. That will help us attract other people. Because when somebody comes to your page, right, they're gonna scroll down through the last 5 to 10 posts or images that you have put out there, and they are going to make a decision within 10 minutes whether or not that they want to follow you or engage with you. So right now, or as soon as this is over, all of you should go to your Instagram feed and you should take a look at it, right? So what you can do is, if you go to your Instagram and you just simply scroll up and you look at the last 10 pictures, I want you to say to yourself, does it look consistent? Is it have the same filters? Can I see sort of my top 3 to 5 things that really define me? If I look at mine, right? Fitness, definitely. There's all these fitness posts. Family, right? I've got the humbleness and hard work in there. I've got a food picture. So absolutely, this is consistent with my brand. As I look down through, I can also see my color scheme is very much the same. I always use the same 2 filters because I wanted to have aesthetically the same kind of look. Another thing is, it's clean. My pictures are all taken on my iPhone and they're very clear. So that's also very important, that your pictures are as professional quality as you can get. So as a new person to social media, that takes work. This morning I stood and took 15 pictures before I got the right one. Like, it's okay. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get there, but I promise it is going to get there. So what you're going to do today is you're going to take a look at that. And then your bio, when you're looking at your bio, especially on Instagram, it should really reflect that brand and that identity, who it is that you are, what people are going to get when they come to your page, right? So mom of 2 boys, absolutely. You can see that in the first 10 posts of mine. I'm a healthy mama. You can see that because I'm doing my workout. I'm an entrepreneur. I talk about legacy and belief and running and resting. I talk about motivational speaker and podcaster, right? There is a lot on my page where I talk about the things I'm going live about too. So all of that is listed there. It's a consistent message. These are simple little tweaks you can start making right now. All right, so now we know, okay, we're aesthetically pleasing. We're working on that. We know what our brand and our identity is. Now it's time to plan it out. So every single week, Pick a day. It could be today that you sit down and you say, all right, what is my objective this week? And a lot of times it's a couple of things. Is it to start an informational group? Is it to start an accountability group? Is it to recruit consultants to be a part of your organization or distributors, right? What is your objective? I write that very clearly at the top of my page. And this is not my one for this week. I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. So I wrote it right at the top of my page. I have my objective for the week written down. I know how many new customers, clients that I want to bring in. That is written. I know exactly what I'm advertising for. So you say to yourself, am I in the part right now where I'm advertising to a specific group? Write the name of that group or thing that you are working to advertise towards. Now, what I want you to do is take out a blank sheet of paper, and I want you to sit down and I want you to write down the name of the group or thing that you are going to advertise towards. Now, I want you to draw lines around it, right? So all these little spokes coming out, and I want you to think of content ideas that are related to whatever it is you're advertising towards. So if it is signing up and becoming a part of the business that you are in, think about all the things that have impacted you. So number one, right, when you talk about the business that you're in, I wrote down, for me, I wrote down, my business opportunity. And then I wrote freedom from constant arguments with my husband about money. I wrote down not having to worry about my credit card being declined, no cap on my income, right? Retiring my husband. I wrote down, especially my business opportunity. Gosh, I don't have to drop my kids off at daycare. I can watch, my kids can be playing or watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and I can be doing 30 minutes of work, right? In home, in my pajamas or in my yoga clothes, I like to write all of those down, all the things about the business that I love, all the things that make it so impactful to me, right? So I make a list of all of the things that are related to, if it is me signing up client or coaches into my organization, I'm gonna make a list of all the things that are going to be related to that. I know that I'm driving people to either a business opportunity call or an informational group. And so I have that set up as well. So I know if I'm going to sign up X amount of new distributors to my team, that's my goal for the week. How am I going to do that? All right, I'm going to have one post a day that speaks about the business opportunity from my perspective. I'm going to tell stories. So all the things I've written, all these ideas are stories I'm going to tell once a day. At the end, I'm going to have a very clear call to action that directs them to either the informational webinar or the informational group or to fill out an application. So at the end, that's where people miss. They tell this great story, they connect with their audience, they're talking to, that person that might be watching them that was in their spot prior to where you are now. And so you've got them. They're like, okay, I'm in. And if you just say like, this is my story, they're like, okay, awesome, good for you. But you want to flip that and you want to say, if this spoke to you or if this really resonated true, now I want you to take action, and here's how you're going to do that. Here's where you're going to go to take that specific action, and you're directing people to either the link tree in your bio to fill out an application to join a Facebook group, right? So that's really important that you have that structure set up. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this web of ideas and I'm going to start putting on there, okay, I'm going to write this one today. So this is Monday. All right, the next one is Tuesday. The next one is Wednesday. And so now I'm starting to get a content strategy mapped out for myself, which also dictates the pictures I'm going to take. So if I know that I want to do something about, my credit card not being declined, I may, when I'm at the grocery store next, swipe my card, take a picture, blur it out. I could talk about that. Or I might be holding like a Target bag and talking about, going to Target and being worried about things being declined, and talk about how I used to feel and how it's so nice to go in and confidently make that purchase. So now I'm thinking about those things prior to like sitting down at my computer and saying, okay, time to make a post. What do I do? All right. So now that it's actually being pre-planned out. So the other thing that I do is I make sure that whatever the post of the day is also connected in my stories. So a lot of times, I talk about my health and my fitness and my nutrition and my personal development every single day. That's ongoing in my stories. But if I'm talking about the business or I'm talking about a product or accountability group, that is also going to be a theme in my story. So I may be talking about, building my business at home in my pajamas, and you may see me Insta story of me sitting on the couch with the boys. They're watching Mickey Mouse. I'm checking in with customers. I may show client results. I may talk about doing a one-on-one call while the baby naps, right? So I'm showing like the raw behind the scenes, like this is actually what it looks like. And then I'm still directing them back to the bio. So there is a similarity, right? There is sort of a theme. Everything sort of is planned out so that people are not just seeing it in the feed, but they're also seeing it in the story. It's helping them to connect the dots. So that is key. I think people miss that. And then the call to action, even in your stories, direct message me, drop your email in a private message. I'll add you to, the informational webinar, or I'll add you to the informational group, or I'll send you an application, or are you interested? Fill out a poll, yes or absolutely. So you're giving people a place where now you can connect with them. So every single week, I have at least one anchor post that is directly related to the goal that I have for the week ahead. Then I have my other kind of staples that are who I am, my fitness accountability, uplifting and inspiring, and my live videos that go along with it, right? My family and the other stuff that I do, clean eating and nutrition. But I always have this one underlying theme. And what I do is at the end of every night, I will say to myself, did I do the most important things that I needed to do today? Did I get that anchor post out? Did I have a clear call to action? Did I have anybody that transferred over? Let me go through my Insta stories. Let me go through my likes. Let me see who is viewing it. Are there new people that I can reach out and connect to? Because the post may get me the views, but now I need to make that connection so that they're actually turning into a viable prospect that could eventually become a client and customer. All right. So this is really, really important that you have this sort of social media strategy, and that every single week you sit down and you say, what's my objective? What's my goal? How am I going to get there? Now, this takes creativity. This takes time. If you look at my sheet right now, you can see I actually have Monday and Tuesday, and I have one thing for Wednesday, and I have nothing for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Why? Because I'm still coming up with content. So I don't spend hours upon end trying to figure out the whole week perfectly planned. But I will, you better believe it, start to fill this out for tomorrow now so that I'm starting to get ahead of it. So guys, a lot of times I wing it. A lot of times my ideas come from the personal development that I read first thing in the morning. A lot of my motivational quotes come from that. I've found recently that it no longer is effective to just post a sweaty selfie. All right. We used to be able to do that. That used to work. But now people, they want something that's eye-catching, and you need to inspire them. You want to move them to make a choice. So if you are taking the same pictures every single day, you are boring people to death. All right, so you've got to switch it up, and you've got to change it and create that curiosity as to what you are doing. Also, when I'm getting ready to start an accountability group, or I'm getting ready to start a new coach training, I always leave myself 2 weeks. I start advertising for whatever it is I am looking to fill spots for at least 2 weeks prior to that start date. So it takes people a good 7 to 10 days of seeing the theme and the thread between stories and Instagram before I start to get traction, before I start to get signups. So you have to trust the process and understand that with creating a strategy and a content strategy, it's going to take time for people to understand, oh, okay, or they may not relate to every story you tell, but then eventually there might be one that really strikes a chord, and that's when they decide to make the decision there. All right. So content strategy, super important. For those of you that are busy and work full time and are not at home, here's a really good suggestion for you. I, a lot of times will, take photos and they just sit on my phone. When I get a free second, and it's like a lunch break or the kids are napping, I will sit and edit the photo. I will sometimes at night type out the post, save it in the note section of my phone, photos ready to go. Wake up in the morning, I take my pictures for the next day. Then I've already got a post ready to go. I post yesterday's picture today, and I don't do that, but this is something I know that other people do. You know, sometimes my food picture that I post today might be yesterday's meal because I didn't have the time to get it ready. So if you are working or you are really busy, it doesn't have to be exactly real time. You can create content, save it in the notes section, save it in a Google Doc, edit the photos, have it ready to go, and then post it at the time that you want it to go out. So that's really another good tip and strategy to help you with that planning. But the bottom line is you have to be able to look at your page and say, I see the content strategy. I see where she's going, or I see the message. It's clear, it's concise. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to request more information, or I'm supposed to fill out this application. All right. So those are some of my tips for you guys. All right, Amanda, how do we form Linktree on our social media site? So for Instagram, if you just go to the website, go to linktree.com, it'll walk you through it. It's very easy. And then there's a link they give you, and you can just plug it right into your bio on Instagram. So not a problem at all. Maria, how long before a group starts will begin your call to actions? And I did say that, 7 to 10 days. If not, 10 days for sure, right? No less than 7. 10 days is really the ideal number, right? That you need. And then you can't expect that your posts are going to bring you people. You are going to have to work it. You're going to have to look at who's viewing it. You have to send out private messages, develop relationships, use, a couple of hashtags, so that you start attracting the right people. So your vital behaviors still are an important part, right? It's always going to be that inviting, that adding new contacts, following up, doing your social media so that you can attract. And then another thing is do a mixture of, I'm going to teach you something. So, I'm going to teach you how to meal plan today by doing a live video. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you a visual of my actual meal plan. The next day, I'm going to talk about the benefits of being a part of an accountability group. The next day, I'm going to have inspiration. So vary teaching, inspiration, still photo, video, right? So you want to have some variation in the different types of content that you're putting out there too. That keeps people from getting bored. It keeps people on their toes and excited about what is to come. All right. Okay, guys, so I hope that this was helpful for you all. It's super easy to create a social media content strategy. The easiest way is to just get a big desk calendar and get a pencil out and start writing in pencil all of your content strategy for the week. Plan out even the next 24 to 48 hours. I promise you, the more you do this, the better you will get. And I just leave aside about a half hour to kind of plan out my strategy. And then this always sits on my desk and I come back to it and I just keep filling it in. And honestly, there are times where I'm like, nope, don't want to do that idea anymore. I thought of something better. So it's okay to change it. It's not something you're locked into, but having a strategy is important. All right, guys, that's our Business Tip Tuesday for this week. Again, thanks so much for tuning in, for being a part of the discussion today. As always, if you have more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will come back and answer them a little later this afternoon. And I will upload this to YouTube, and you can always go to melaniemitro.com and make sure you subscribe to my newsletter, to my emails, so that you get any upcoming trainings and resources that I am putting out there. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and happy first day of spring. I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.